Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I am back for our stitch along. So I've taken a tiny hiatus this week due to a very busy working week. But thankfully it is now Friday. You'll be seeing this video tomorrow on Saturday, and I've loaded up one of the videos I already had done for this evening's video. So hopefully folks will see that and we'll be able to join in for our little chat that we have when the premiere plays. But we're moving on to a new stitch, which is straight overcast stitch, and we'll be working on something similar to an eyelet, which we have actually done, I think, with the letter E. But straight overcast stitch is also known as overcast stitch, and it's often used in eyelets and cut work. So we're going to create what's called a beading eyelet. So in what they show in the book, you actually cut the little slit for it after you've done the initial little row of stitches around, but I've just cut the stitch and then put it in the hoop for the ease of filming. So what I'm going to then do is then work some running stitches around the little shape where I've put the cut. And it says just work tiny running stitches. I am doing it using a larger thread and a larger needle, just so it's visible for you. So I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully you haven't had a crazy week. I'm very glad my week is done and dusted now. Very much looking forward to the weekend and hopefully some lovely crafting time. Got so much I want to be crafting away on. Christmas is coming soon. I think we're going to put up our Christmas tree tomorrow, which will be lovely. And we've got lots of lovely natural Christmas trees that we got, little seedlings from a favourite place that we love to go in Victoria, in Alpine Victoria, Bright, which some of you will have heard me talk about before. And there's lots of pine forests there, and you get tiny little pines that grow on the side of them. So I got some only a matter of years ago, maybe even a year and a half ago, and they've grown into these most beautiful pine trees in the pots. So we've got our own Christmas tree. So what we're now going to do is work little stitches coming through the slit and then going up and just beyond the stitches that we have created around the outside, and we're just going to work our way around doing overcast stitches. So coming up through the slit, and I can see I've got a little bit of thread that's trying to sort of separate its way, so I'll just have to decide which side that little bit of thread's going to sit on. Hopefully, because I am using a larger sort of crochet cotton, hopefully it will make the process go a bit faster than if I was using a really fine thread. I guess you want the stitches to sit close enough together that you can't actually see the fabric. I'm just aware I can see a tiny bit of the fabric poking through there. There we go. You can just massage the threads a bit with your needle if you need to. So I guess that little running stitch you do around the outside kind of just gives the structure for these stitches to then sit onto. Again, I'm not sure how often I'll use this stitch, but maybe it will be nice to add some cut work to pieces that I do. Always get a bit scared cutting into the middle of your actual fabric. It's been a funny old day. It's been quite warm. I had to have the air conditioner on upstairs while I was working, but it has been rainy as well, so sort of that humid weather, which thankfully we don't get too much of, but today it's definitely been that sticky sort of weather. And it's evening now, not yet totally dark outside. I can still see the sky and the rain coming down outside just lightly, just a light pitter patter, which is perfect, I suppose, for stitching. I know some of our stitch along ladies, they're going into the very cold part of the year where you are. Obviously in Australia, we're We're heading into our summer months when it will be warm. My veg patch, the tomatoes are forming on the bush. I've already had zucchinis. The sweet peas are smelling delightful. They're all self-seeded, which was just fabulous. I didn't manage to actually plant any this year, but they've all popped up and across 3 of my garden beds, which is lovely. So they bring the bees, which is great, and so does the borage, which is self-seeded as well. I love a self-seeded garden. I've also got self-seeded nigellas, which are beautiful little, such delicate flowers, and the seed pods are really beautiful themselves. Let me know what you had in your summer garden, even if it's a finished summer garden. I know Tess from our Stitch Along, she grows amazing things and harvests her herbs for beautiful herbal teas. But I'd love to hear what your favourite things to grow in your garden are, or maybe in your winter garden if that's coming up. Although I imagine in places where it snows, you can't really probably have much outside. You wait for the thaw to come so that you can see what pops up. We don't get snow where I am in Australia. Have to go up into the mountains, or it might be a very rare occurrence where snow would come down this low. I've just managed to unthread my needle, which is unfortunately not a rare occurrence. But we will get there. I'm not sure how neat we can say my straight overcast stitches, but it will perform its function, and we can always go back around if we need to add any further stitches just to cover the little fluffy bits of fabric that are popping out. Oops, that's the tail at the back there. So yeah, I'm not sure if the rain's going to continue over the weekend or if we're going to have fine weather. If it's nice weather, we'll try and take Travis down to the beach, I think. For those of you that have been following along with Alex's adventures, we've had a referral off to one of the big hospitals here where they have a special heart ward, and so we've got I didn't think we'd have an appointment with the new specialist until probably the new year, because things seems to happen very slowly, but yeah, we've got one next Tuesday, which is incredibly fast. So we'll go along and find out what's next, but all is okay. So thank you for those of you who have thought about us. Really appreciate it. I think all those thoughts have done good things, and yeah, it's got us quickly in to get the next step in the process, which would be good just to get to a point where, yeah, Alex feels like he's knows what's happening and whatever needs to be done is done, and yeah, it'll be good. Now, because I've got these little tufty bits sticking out, I'll probably just go back and put a little stitch over each of those tufty bits, even though it's not totally technically the process, but I don't think it will do any harm, and at least if you have the same thing, you can do the same process. It's just little bits of the fabric that are sticking out through the stitching. Probably if you use a fabric that doesn't sort of fray as much, you might not get the little tufty bits. But the good thing about this stitch is it does actually hold everything nicely in place. Binds it all. Put one more in here, I think. One more, there's still one little tufty bit up the top here that just doesn't want to hide away. Let's see if I can cover it up with this stitch. There we go, covered it up. So I've done that on the top. I suppose I could go around and do that on the bottom as well. Maybe, looks like I've created a little loop in the process of my stitching, so I'll just bring my thread around the perimeter. I'll catch this piece down as well, so that it's not in the way. Oh, sorry, just bumped the camera. Let's put some little stitches over where I've got the little tufty bits down the bottom. Probably a little one to cover up there. And one there, and maybe another one over here, and then I think we're about right. Good, that's covered that one up. It's like a little red lipstick mouth. Let's do another one over here. That's pretty good. It's not totally even. And so now what it says to do when you finish up is be at the back of the fabric and take the needle over 1 to 2 threads and then slide the needle behind the stitches in the opposite direction. So I guess I'll go under those and then slide it. So over that way and then under that way. I can get them through underneath because it is a larger needle. Gonna have to give it a wiggle woggle. There we are. And then you can cut it off because it will hold under those threads. I'll cut off my tail from over here. And there we go. That is the straight overcast stitch to create an eyelet. So I will see you tomorrow for straight stitch flower. We love our flowers, so that should be a good one. And then we've also got straight stitch raised, which also seems to create a flower. And that will be it for the straight stitch. So you probably just need space for 3 different versions of straight stitch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye everyone.